Think National is a company that we put together 11 years ago to service the pharmacy industry. Every pharmacy is unique, whether it be its demographic, whether it be its competition, and we have to work with these parameters. So what is good for one pharmacy is not necessarily good for another one. So many designers, retail designers, use a rule of thumb. We don't do that. We get right into the detail to make sure that we get the most out of that pharmacy. Our designers are focused on delivering a complete pharmacy solution for individual pharmacies. We have to encompass the demographics, the competition, health services. We need to understand the retail opportunity there as well. And we need to set up the dispensary to suit these different applications.
I would definitely recommend Sam. The reason being was that he never made promises that he couldn't keep. Anywhere he recognised pretty quickly the areas that I needed help in, particularly costs and budgets. You may think that you'll save some costs here and there with managing the whole project yourself, but I find Sam to be very time efficient and able basically to save me a lot of time and therefore rental money, as well as pulling in trades, making sure they're on time, that they deliver, that they don't overcharge. So having that experience in the industry that Sam has, I think has led me to be able to build these two pharmacies at a budget that people wouldn't expect.
Think Design and Project Management team have to keep up with the ever-changing dynamic pharmacy industry. And that would be with the technological advances, be it the robotic dispensing machines, the visual merchandising screens that they use. This is what we do at Think National. Our designers are focused on delivering a design tailored to suit the individual pharmacy, encompassing the demographics, competition, health services provided, retail opportunity, and most importantly, the dispensary workflow. The Think National design process begins with a detailed design brief and site visit, which gives us an understanding of the client's requirements.
Design was really smooth actually. Elise was a big help in terms of both sides. She came up with some good ideas and took our ideas on board, and I think it was a very good collaborative effort. And basically we've come up with a store that looks good in my opinion. She pushed us where we needed to be pushed and took on board what we suggested as well, so it was a good mix and a good workflow.
Phase 2 of the design process is the preliminary drawings, and these are created for a number of reasons. The first one being that it's created for the pharmacy board to approve, landlords to approve, whether it be the shopping centres or an individual landlord owner. It's also produced for building legislation to get certification on the job. And most importantly, it also, at this point of time, we can create the budget estimate for the job.
There were issues from either side of the brands, being Friendly's and Amcal. They both had their separate issues, just because of the history of each brand, but both were resolved. There were small issues that couldn't have been resolved that actually were resolved very smoothly. Friendly's, for example, had their certain brand standards and were a bit more flexible in what they had. Elise and we came up with a really good cost-effective solution to satisfy what they required. Amcal was a bit more restrictive in terms of what they wanted to see in store. We found innovative solutions, I would like to say, to combat the increase in price in terms of what Amcal required, but we came to a fairly good budget, I believe.
The third phase is the detailed drawings. This is also a very important part of the process, which we get in behind the counters, get all the details so it actually works for the pharmacist. Some pharmacists work from right to left, others work from left to right, and we have to accommodate for this sort of thing. These detailed drawings are the ones that are used for pricing, for tendering. And if we get this right, and we really have to make sure that we get this right, it actually reduces or limits variations to zero. That's what we want to do, because there's nothing worse from a pharmacist's point of view, paying for something, thinking he's got this amount to pay for, and then all of a sudden comes up with a variation to suit a concept that he really wanted, and paying extra money for it.
I guess people who often build, they often find that they have to go through a lot of variations to the final outcome that they wanted. Both Elise and Sam were very thorough in explaining to me everything that needed to be known, such that we got a final result that was close to the finished signed-off plans. Variations between myself and Sam were very minimal. I think we probably only had less than 4 for both sites. Therefore, also translates to basically being on budget. The variations that did come out, Sam was honest. He also took on board a lot of costs that weren't described in the initial plans and absorbed them himself, which to me just shows his integrity in this business, that he will not, pass on costs that should not be borne by the client. I would definitely recommend going with Sam. The reason being, he not only delivered the site's completion on time, but also at a very cost-effective budget. And I think he's been able to do this just simply through his vast experience in managing his team, as well as managing the trades and negotiating with the landlord and the brands to get me a cost-effective final cost and outcome.